This is a Dreamcast disc and is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers.
Hello guys, it's Kev from the Dreamcast Junkyard, and today we're going to be having a look at this. It's the Dreamcast Striker DC pad. Now, disclosure, this is a review unit that they've kindly sent to us. Anyone who follows the show or the podcast or the Twitter will notice that I and a few of the other staff have backed this, and a few others have not. Over my shoulder here, this way, I've got a little station set up that I'm going to go to now. I'm going to have a look at this, and then we're going to put it through its paces and see how it responds. It looks like a real kind of quality store-bought product, like a decent pad that you'd maybe buy for another system. I know that might sound strange as we move over to Corelic Cam here. It may sound strange, but it looks like a real good retail product. So what I myself had never purchased anything from Retro Fighters. I didn't know about them until this Kickstarter. So very, very impressed straight away. Good colour scheme as well. Blue and orange, you know, meets both territories. Even though it's not orange, it's red before you start showering me. So if we have a look inside, quick start manual about the pad, and if you follow the link to our Twitter page, if you follow the link to our blog, you'll notice that we've got some questions that the team answered. They've been very friendly throughout to us, particularly very, very informative. In the Kickstarter, cool looking keyring, I like that. Some stickers. Whilst not me, I know my little girl will love them. And then a little FAQ. So this is good. This was one of the questions that they answered for us. It's fully compatible, and it's been fully tested to be compatible with VMUs, vibration packs, a 4X memory pack, microphone. So but please note some third-party accessories may not be compatible. So I'm sure there'll be someone out there saying like, oh, but what about the such and such that they only made 7 of? So it might not work with whatever that is. But everything here then has been designed and tested. So one of the things that they've told me they've had, not difficulty, that they had a challenge of was making the VMU compatible. So really securely placed in here. Let me get that out. Right, first thoughts. It's obviously very different to a traditional Dreamcast pad. There we go. Obviously very different. It feels nice. It's lighter. Like, I know there's 2 VMUs in this one. Let me just take them out. So certainly lighter. Even with a pad out, or it feels lighter at least. Space for 2 VMUs. So let's put this one in here. Let's put this one in the back. D-pad is obviously a lot flatter. What is the D-pad like is one of the big comments that we've had. There we are. So D-pad is flatter. It feels nice. It's not got that. I don't know how to describe that. It's almost like a kind of springy resistance feel. It can be quite uncomfortable, the DC one. Even though I like the pad, even though I like this, already feeling that this feels quite nice. Thumbstick. You know, I like the curved in, the dimple, whatever, as opposed to the dome. Feels pretty good. The triggers feel a bit spongy, so they feel a bit more. I feel like I've got greater control. Maybe spongy. Well, spongy is completely the wrong word, but let me just tighten my focus up here a bit. I feel like I've got more precision over these. So yeah, I like it. It seems nice. So now we're going to do what the purpose of it is. We're going to go through, play some games, see how it plays. And someone did ask this to me: is the cord longer? So I'll let you know in a second once I've unfurled this Oh, there we are, guys. First impressions out of the box, really positive. It's longer than a standard Dreamcast pad. The cord is, like I said, someone asked, and it's obviously going the other way, so it's going up. One of the we ever talk about the Dreamcast pad, one of the comments that we always get is, "Oh, why is the stupid lead coming out the bottom?" Some people like it, some people don't. I don't really have an opinion. It's just the lead cord. Trust me, but it is longer. I know you can get extenders, but I've never bought any in 20 years. So I know that's on me. But if you have a look at the pad length, the old mangy grey is my original one. So that ends there. Just checking. You can see that on my screen, and then the other one goes on for maybe another 2 foot. Size does matter. So I like that. I like that, even though I'm sat next to my Dreamcast. If anyone ever plays with me in this room, it can get a bit cramped because the pads don't reach that far. So everything I'm seeing looks really good. Looks really impressive. Build quality feels nice. Not that I wasn't expecting it to. Interested to see how I get on the triggers. A nice click on the shoulder buttons. The buttons feel different, and I don't know if they feel good different or bad different. I get that that's a very old man set in his ways point of view. So, firstly, people were saying to me to play a fighting game. I'm terrible at fighting games. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna start Tony Hawk. We're gonna see what the D-pad's like right out the box. See we get on. Right. No, I'm on a menu. D-pad feels lovely. With the VM using, it has got a nice weight to it. It feels a tiny bit. I mean, ever so slightly. It feels a bit top balanced compared to the Dreamcast pad. So I'm not going to say it's falling out of my hand. And again, some of this I think is just the difference, but I can feel it kind of weighing on it. I'm not really sat in a position for gaming though, so let's have a look. Crash straight away, of course. Right. Start button works really well. It's not Tony Hawk if you don't do that at least once. There we go. There we go, right. So straight away, nice and responsive. It's got a lovely new pad feel now. If you bought a new pad, like an old new stock or whatever the term for that is, you might be experiencing this. I've been feeling before, I'm dreadful, stuck in here. However, quite a lot of the pads that I've got are just so worn out. So it's quite nice to have a really responsive, brand new, fresh out of the box feel to this. The triggers feel really, really nice. I'll give them that. So, great job from the guys from the team for that. Found the hidden tape of my landing. So yeah, it feels really nice, really responsive. Now, let's have a go. Let's just play arcade. Like I said, I've never, ever played this. I'm going to go Ryu, however you pronounce it. This probably shows you my Spider-Man, of course. Gotta be easy. And normal. Sorry if I've committed a cardinal sin there. So the triggers feel really nice. The triggers and buttons. The D-pad is great. I won't like the D-pad. I can't say enough about that. Uh-oh. A few people I remember seeing every time we put every time we put articles or work up about the pads, people have asked why the 3 buttons aren't in a row. Not that that's the reason why I'm not doing any good, but I could see that maybe working, but we've obviously gone with the design layout of the conventional pad. Like I said, got Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I never really got into it. I have no idea what the buttons are. I once played in the Street Fighter League for the Xbox 360, and I came bottom of it without ever winning winning a match. So I can't really do that justice, I'm afraid. I'm gonna have to leave it to the opinion of you guys who are fighting game aficionados, but the D-pad to me feels nice. I don't feel like I'm pressing the buttons and it's not corresponding on screen, so like I said, I'm fair enough to know whether there's any lag or anything like that, but I feel like everything that I'm doing is being actioned, even though I was just tapping the pad. It's moving very quickly there. So yeah, the buttons feel nice. Already like I'm using the stick on this for that point. Let me try moving to the D-pad. Feels nice. So I can already tell that this is probably going to be way more comfortable playing a game like Virtua Tennis than it would be if you were playing it with the regular Dreamcast pad. It's a bit of a hipster opinion, but when I play Virtua Tennis, I quite often use the arcade stick just because it reminds me of playing Virtua Tennis in the arcade. There we go. So I'm going to play this next game then fully with the stick. So that feels nice. Nice fluid movement. I feel like my player's going where I'm telling him to. Just messing around with the button there, just to see how it felt, playing the other shots. There we go. Let's put him away. Bye, Peeling. Done toying with you. So yeah, that feels nice. I can see some people preferring that type of feel. Like I said, some of the Dreamcast staff, and I do get this, I have this with other consoles, don't want to move away from this. They like, this is what they know about the Dreamcast, this feel, this shape. And I get that style of retro gaming, or that feeling of retro gaming being like your past, your childhood, or however old you were, a moment in your life. But I do like this. I'm enjoying this. This game handles like a dog. Can it be improved? I have a hypothesis that the answer is going to be no. Let's do it. Let's save just to check everything is working. So there we are. Yeah. So like I said, it was one of the things that they told me they struggled with. So really starting to enjoy this. Forward to my Kickstarter version arriving. Not tried the turbo features out yet, but I imagine that'd be good for one of the shooters, one of the shoot 'em ups. Let's do single race. Obviously go the Hornet, gonna keep everything as it is.
Race start! Ladies and gentlemen, Start your engines.
Like I said, the main thing I've been saying is it feels different, but it's not a bad different. Do like the feel of that. I don't feel like my finger's gonna slip off of that.
3, 2,
I hope it's the triggers.
go!
There we go. Still handles like an absolute dog. It's being too long for me to really say this. Jesus, there's any more playable. Oh, rats! It's like my wheel driving. The triggers are nice though. If this was a good driving game, good racing game, I think I'd be enjoying this more. Maybe I'll kick across something better in a second. It does feel easier than I remembered. It's been a long time since I've played this one. I'm on the grass again, what's wrong with me? So it doesn't feel like a third-party pad from the 90s. Because obviously there's a lot of great third-party design materials, games, etc. out there now. Feels nice, like I said, it feels nice. It doesn't feel like anything like that. The way that my memory, I can't get my words out. My memory of the 90s is that third-party pads were always horrific, mostly horrific. This doesn't feel like that. If you had gone over to someone's house and they'd given you this to play with, you wouldn't have been felt hard done by or upset, or because it was just known in my house or my circles, the younger brother pad. I should not have done ice. Right. I'm gonna abort this. There we go. Right, that's better. You absolute twat. Yeah, like this, feels great. So it's obviously made for fighters, well, predominantly made for fighters, but the analog stick on this is really nice. So just like dipping off at the corners there, dipping off the right trigger, just to turn around to ease off the accelerator and turn, etc. It feels really good. That's the brake up, but obviously going to be testing more and more games with this as we go along. Like I said, I'm going to leave this in. We'll leave it plugged in as my main controller for the foreseeable future. I'm going to play everything on this. And I'll do like a kind of 2 weeks in, 1 month in, something like that. Depending on how much gaming I manage to get in. Due to like adult life, etc. I'd love to just be able to sit and play for maybe like 2-3 hours and see how my hands feel after that. Obviously I'm not going to do that in this video, but let you know, because I do find the Dreamcast controller a bit cramped at times nowadays. I and I don't have that. I've got much wider hand spacing here. I have teeny tiny little IT person hands as well, so I can't ever do in-car mode, but let's have a go. This does not make sense to my brain, this view. See, I've just done something with the Dreamcast that I've never ever done before, which was I just tried to reach for a right thumbstick to have a look behind me to see if there's any other cars behind me, or see what was behind me. So I think that says quite a lot about the more modern ergonomics design feel of the pad. So like I said, I've never had my brain be confused like that before. So there we are, guys. My initial thoughts are, big fan of this. I'm already a big fan of this. Got a nice premium feel to it. Feels great. The stick does feel good. Took me a bit of getting used to. I know I've only been on a few games for a couple of minutes each, but once I got used to it, feels great for the racing games. It won't be for everyone. Your purists will want to stay with this. This will be what they know and associate with the Dreamcast. However, a game like V Rally, I never played during the era, or Daytona, I've never really been able to get into. So stuff like that, I can see people, if it's not a game that you fondly remember from childhood or Dreamcast era, then I can see you maybe moving over and preferring that. I wished that I could give the fighters a better test, but I'm just not really good enough at them. Really know, but I can't feel any lag or anything like that happening. Maybe we'll give it a go on track and field to see how it holds up to that kind of furious button mashing. But like I said, feels really good. You can see that the guys have obviously worked hard on it, gone through the revisions that they've mentioned that they've gone through. Buttons feel nice. D-pad feels great. Triggers and the shoulder buttons also nice. Obviously not tried the turbo, but see no reason why that wouldn't work exactly the same. If you've ordered one of these or you're thinking about one of these, we've got any feedback, can you give such and such game a try, and just let us know. Yeah, feel free. We'll give that a go. Feel free to check out the blog site for some of the questions I mentioned that the Retro Fighters team were going to have answered for us. And thank you very much.
This is a Dreamcast disc and is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers.
Dreamcast, up to 6 billion players.